Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. There was a little bit of a quick need to get a substitute, it seems, but luckily enough, it was sorted out fairly quickly. My name is DkTruman, and for this battle between, the bottom four teams right now, we have, of course, the Balrogs facing up against South Team. I will be joined by Arjarath as my analyst for this series. Thank you very much for very quickly joining me.
Thank you for calling me, Truman. It's a pleasure to be here and to be casting this game with you guys. So yeah, let's see who's gonna win this series. Balrogs against South Team. Let me make a quick check here on the score, so we can talk a little bit on how both teams are like performing on this tournament. But yeah, if you would like to swap to the in-game camera, because we have some picks already on display. So if you want to do that, let's just hop in. It's your call, Truman.
Yep, we'll jump into the draft as you mentioned, Arjarath.
Okay.
First couple of heroes have been chosen, the Tiny Weaver for Balrogs and the Dawnbreaker Brewmaster for South Team. There's actually something very important about this series that is being played. I mean, it's pretty much the last week, so the last four teams have to be played. We already know that Noping is the first team that has been eliminated, unfortunately for them. You know, it just was not their season. Everything went wrong, and it continued to go wrong. But right now, this match decides if either we're gonna have a three-way tie between Gorilla's Pride South Team or Balrogs, or if Balrogs is gonna get directly eliminated from Division 2 as well without any money. So Balrogs need this win to force a three-way tiebreaker with G Pride and South Team. If they lose this, they're the second team that joins Noping in being eliminated.
Dire's turn to battle.
Okay, so both teams required to win this, like to not be disqualified, if I'm not mistaken.
No, if South Team
is that what you
loses
said?
this, if South Team loses this, they will have to play a three-way tiebreaker. If they win this, they're safe. If Balrogs loses this, they're eliminated. If they win
so
this,
we have a
yeah.
Okay, so we have a possible three-way tiebreaker here, which is like something not new on the SA DPC. We have been seeing this kind of tiebreaks every now and then, especially here on the Division 2. I feel like the game from every team that is playing here is like they are optimizing their plays every time, every game that they play. So I'm not surprised that we're gonna probably see here three-way tie. But you know, South Team, they can like maybe bring something good here to this game. I'll be especially watching Hermit, which is kind of a friend of mine. So I hope he performs good on this game. And well, we can see here Dawnbreaker and also Brewmaster being picked by South Team. Dawnbreaker, which is a quite flexible hero. And we have on the Balrogs Esports side, Tiny Weaver and Clockwork. Tiny Weaver feels like something from the past patches, right? What do you think, Truman? Do you like this opening from Balrogs and also Clockwork, right?
Yeah, the Clockwork is always a bit of an interesting hero. I like the fact that it farms a lot better these days. Tiny is just, you know, it's a good playmaking hero. The Weaver is the one where I'm starting. I think Weaver's great, and it has a lot of diversity in South America, especially. They also play it as an offlane. Sacred, for instance, is one of the players that tends to do that. I think Queen Tekka actually also plays Tiny, the Weaver as an offlane, so they have a possibility to like flex the Tiny in a 4, Clockwork 5, Weaver offlane. Weaver could also go safe lane for Benny pretty easily, and the likes. So I like the draft, though. Currently, South Team's heroes do seem very scary to deal with. We will quickly rejoin the call because there are some issues going on, so hopefully Discord will resolve itself with just a recall. How... I think you also need to quickly cancel the call completely. I don't know why it doesn't. Okay, there we go. And hopefully a new voice chat will fix the issues.
let me assist here on the server to see if it's better. Can you hear me? Testing, 1, 2.
I can hear you.
Dire's turn to Radiant's turn to pick.
Still quite bad, right?
It's
Still
not superb,
or
but I guess it gets the job done
It
for
is
now.
Dire's band.
We'll try to sort this out in the break.
better. Okay.
Hopefully, it won't be too problematic. We apologize. Intercontinental casting can sometimes be a little bit problematic in that regard.
Yeah, sorry guys, sorry for everyone who's watching this. And well, we have Marcy and Gyrocopter on South team. I like the quick answer from Balrogs Esports, right? They bring Lifestealer, which can like deny most of the magical damage input from South team. So yeah, I feel like Lifestealer here is pretty solid. It kind of shows to us that Balrogs intends to play Tiny maybe as a support or middle lane, right? I think it's gonna be Tiny mid, so maybe they are just holding the last pick for offlane. We're gonna see pretty soon. And South team thinks otherwise. They think they are lacking a middle lane, so they banned Ember Spirit and they are going to ban maybe another hero that can control and bring maybe like damage on lots of illusions. I don't know, because that's one of the things that Embers do. But yeah, let's see the last ban here out from South team, Truman.
Yeah, the Gyrocopter is an interesting choice here because I don't think Gyro has really any success as a safe laner with the current patch if he is not comboed with the IO. So do you think that this is a Gyro support because of that? Well, we'll see very quickly right now. Wait, Void Spirit? Okay, so I guess Brew offlane, Dawn 4, Marcy 5, Gyro safe, Void Spirit mid?
Marcy offlane, Dawnbreaker HC? Maybe, I don't know, like...
Brewmaster should be played by Hermits,
because
because Hermit's the micro hero player, so
okay, yeah, you're right.
It has to kind of be his hero. But it is an interesting draft from South team. I'm not a big fan of Gyrocopter in this current patch. Without IO, I think the hero is just incredibly weak, especially against a Lifestealer who like chops him up in 3 seconds.
I agree with you, actually. So Brewmaster here is gonna have like a tough job trying to control, especially Lifestealer, and he needs to do like a good tornado usage to control to buy space for this gyro to click. As you said, without IO, I don't think the damage output is good enough. So Balrogs Esports, they bring Tusk as last pick.
Yep, offlane Weaver.
So they have quite a from Queen Tekka. Okay.
It is something that
Offlane
SA
Weaver.
does, but the other
what do you
regions not
think?
as much. I really like offlane Weaver. It does kind of build the same as a position for Weaver, but it is still like very annoying in the lane. You've got the Tusk plus Weaver combo as well, which I think specifically Sacred also does with his team. And that is just, you get the Geminid attack with the tag team, and then in the lane it becomes very powerful to deal with. And it is definitely looking on the rougher side of things for them to try and handle this, because there's a lot of damage that will be pumped out in the offlane, and I think that's really where the problems might come through for South team, because it is a Gyrocopter. He will be playing with, I'm quickly going, he will be playing in this case with the substitute Virgil, I think, because Monty is the position 4 player. Louise is not here. I don't know why, but they are playing with the substitute on the side. So that is a little bit unfortunate. But we'll have to wait and see if Virgil will be able to pull the same weight as Louise tends to do, who is a really good 5 position.
Prepare for battle.
Yeah, for sure. So Regarding the drafts here, I'd say I prefer Balrog's draft a little bit more due to that Lifestealer pick. And I feel like Weaver on this game could complement the damage, the armor reduction quite a lot. So I don't know, feels like their draft is a little bit stronger to me, Truman. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think so as well. I like the fact that they're very elusive and fast with the Clockwork, the Weaver, and the Tusk. You also have infest targets for Benny. Pretty much everyone in his team he can infest in, because you're probably going to have Robo-Z going for the Blink target this game. Can one-shot some enemies, not all of them. I think the biggest hurdle is going to be Hermit and how good he plays the Brewmaster. Because in every other aspect, except for like full-on team fights, I think that Southiem have an advantage there, but in pretty much all other regards, tower push, Roshan capabilities, small skirmishes, I think Balrogs have them beat.
Now the fight resumes. But
Yeah, especially considering the cooldown of Primal Split, as you mentioned, Hermit, he gonna need to do a good job for his team and like a good usage of his ultimate, because otherwise it's a, as you said, elusive team, quite fast pressure from Balrogs, so they don't really depend on huge cooldowns. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm curious to see the itemization that Queen Tekka is gonna build for this Weaver. I wonder if he's gonna like build that Falcon Blade into anything else, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, Spirit Vessel, I think that's probably going to be what's on his mind first item, especially against the immense healing coming out from the Dawnbreaker in the ulti. It is really a patch of countering healing with the Dawnbreaker and, well, in this case also the Marcy, because that is also one plus that they do have on the side of South Team. They have a Marcy and a Dawnbreaker, and those are pretty much two of the strongest heroes in this current patch.
The golden ones would expect no less.
Well, first blood here on Clockwork. They already get a good advantage on this Dawnbreaker, so he's trying to like rush Orb of Corrosion, and that's great against Lifestealer, you know, like it's gonna apply so much damage on this strength hero. And Hermit, he's also aiming for that Vessel, probably, as you mentioned, maybe like a casual Urn. And yeah, like, I mean, nice reading on the Weaver Vessel thing, because it's not the item I was thinking of when I think about Weaver offlane, especially. Like, but yes, as you said, you need to counter that HP regen, so it makes sense.
There's a lot of healing coming in as well when the Marcy gets that sidekick, couple of levels, hard to deal with. It seems, you know, they might have some lags in the server as well. But hopefully that will subside soon enough. For me, the Weaver is really bugged.
Yeah, for me too. She's like holding her arms up, right?
Yeah, she's
what
like
is this?
stuck in the floor. Oh, this is actually one of the weirdest bugs ever. Take me.
It's like a T-pose, right? Almost.
Yeah.
Like...
Oh. And he's gonna very fast try to slither away. Oh, that is actually one of the weirdest bugs I've seen in a while. It's kind of like when
sometimes you get the...
When you have Pugna, you also had that bug
what happens to Pugna?
with the where they had that goblet, the immortal skin, and then like the little bug that floats on top of it just sticks out in the front, and it just floats in front of him the entire time while he's walking around. That one's also really weird.
Yeah, sometimes you see a Dragon Knight without armor, and like, I don't know, you see some bald heroes as well.
Monkey
Sometimes
King
that
is always
happens,
bugged.
like, it's fine.
Oh, Virgil taking a lot of damage, doesn't
Not
have
playing
his
Virgil?
rebound yet. And the bug's on him. Queen Tekka is gonna get the kill secured. And that is the power of a Tusk plus Weaver. You've got the minus armor, you've got the tag team, you've got a couple of catches, and a lot of damage between them. But look at Robo-Z in the mid lane, absolutely tearing it up. in terms of last hits.
Yeah, that's pretty good for middle lane once the XP here is so important, especially for Void Spirit who needs to rotate fast and get like openings on side lanes. And that's a benefit from the trees, right? I know it got nerfed like along the patches, but still it's so good on early game to make those nice denies. And like you have to consider like Void Spirit, he has a good attack speed, so yeah, good job from RoboZ.
Yeah, so far it's looking pretty okay in the mid lane. Bottom though, Benny dropping very low. And the problem is it is a lifestealer, so he regens pretty nicely. But for the most part, it is still a struggling situation. Because you need to get enough heals to be able to sustain in the lane. Luckily, does have his rage now, so is slightly better against Celestial Hammer and possibly Hermit's Thunderclap, but the problem is Starbreaker pierces spell immunity, and that hits very hard. We will try to see if...
Well playing, Snowball.
Oh. Plona does get himself back. Queen Tekka still, I don't know what that is, T-posing all the way through. It actually looks like he's got his legs wide because of it. Like, just weird. Take me.
Truman, I'm gonna connect on the other channel here, if you don't mind.
Yep, we will see if that fixes the issue. Sorry again, there seems to be... There's also a bit of delay, that's why you sometimes hear him slightly talking. Well, we talking at the same time. Hopefully this will fix it. Hello, Arjarath? Okay.
Yo, way better. I can hear you well.
Yeah, and you respond on time
you
as
hear
well. Yeah, I do hear you. And now I don't hear like the cracklings. Why
That's nice.
does it work in the... I have no idea. Discord's weird.
Sometimes it happens.
Okay,
So
going
what
in.
are we going to see here? Snowball on top lane.
Their structures against attack.
Okay, the rebound, right? It's a good skill to like avoid this kind of damage. James on the middle lane also getting tossed and also avalanche, so he needs to watch out. But he still has some bottle charges to help himself there. And on bot lane, aggressions everywhere, Truman. They might get the kill here on Clockwork.
They're constantly fighting Monty.
They do.
Does he get it killed? Nope. Hermit nicely body blocks it. Make sure Benny can't get anywhere close. I'm just thinking, how are we gonna do the cams now? We'll figure that out once we get to that point.
I think we can... Yeah,
But yeah.
sorry for the technical problems, everyone.
Yeah, welcome to 2022, where we still have production problems. In literally the last week of the tournament. Very useful. Well, right now it is...
Okay, the TP mid lane, they are going to refill the bottle.
They are fighting a lot on the map, but not really killing each other. Just a lot of harass coming through. 5-for-5 is invised up, and top lane they do lose Rina. They're actually being dove upon the tower. Virgil dropping low, TP coming in from the Void Spirit. This could be pretty big from James. He's going to jump in, gets the catch onto Queen Tekka. The burst is there, and they should be able to kill the Weaver. Plus, Pamplona is still behind the tower. It is going to be a kill towards mid onto Monty by Rina, but Pamplona will follow next. And James, that's a great rotation to at least try and stem the bleeding in the top lane.
Yeah, and also the bottle refill from Dawnbreaker on mid lane. That's when it helps the middle lane a lot, especially when you don't have the rune control exactly. Because you are fighting against Tiny and he's controlling the damage, controlling the runes. So the TP from Dawnbreaker certainly helped Void Spirit to have mana on that engage on top lane. And I feel like it still doesn't... It's not good when you lose HC, right? You lose some farm time, but yeah, at least Void Spirit got the punishment, so it's 1-1 here. Like they are playing a very even game. That's what I mean.
It is slightly advantageous. I think all 3 lanes are going really well currently. Benny was the only one I was a little bit doubting if it's going well against Hermit, but well, his last hits, or at least his farm, is 500 more. He actually has 11 last hits more. He's doing really good in that bottom lane, even though it started off kind of struggling. That is very scary. He is going for the armlet build this time around. I actually casted VP a couple of games today, and Ramsey's build plays Juggernaut, and every single time on Juggernaut he builds Midas first, which is so weird.
Double damage.
Midas on Jug. Is that it?
Yeah, Midas and then the Maelstrom. I just
Double damage.
I don't get it sometimes. They're weird players in the game.
I'm not a big fan of it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a big fan because when you rush the Maelstrom, you can join the game anytime. You can maybe get some kills with Omnislash with that Maelstrom, but when you rush Midas, that's something you really can't do. And well, Vayne just using Rage on
trouble.
bottom lane, they are going to force this Primal Split.
Yeah, though he just walks away.
Ooh, he juked
Bamboozle
around.
juke, body the blocks with the cogs, but it's still going to be Benny being caught healing himself. Not going to be able to keep him going just yet. Does have another Rage, but the Brew Split has been used. And will they be able to secure the kill is the question. Monte trying to get the smackdown, but Benny just Rage runs away. Back to safety he goes. They will find a consolidation kill onto the Clockwork though.
Yeah, I mean, great jukes there from Lifestealer, Benny. He managed to like run around and wait for the cooldown of the Fury, the Rage, to come back. And like, it's curious because he's not like thinking still on like upgrading a point on Infest. So yeah, if he had Infest there, he would have been safe anyway. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry for the hiccups. And on middle lane, RoboZ, 2 guys there trying to zone him out. You also see Virgil there converging, trying to get that kill. But it's a tiny. He's a tough one, so I don't think anything gonna happen here. And on top lane, they are busting out that tower, so slight advantage to Balrogs and their movements, right? That's what I can say here for now. RoboZ, courageous.
James being able to pick up the
As we can
illusion.
see, he doesn't mind.
RoboZ is a pretty tanky rock. Top tier 1 tower has also been secured in favor of the Balrogs. Looking pretty good. Hermit's actually falling behind in farm. He went for a Urn into a Vanguard. He's got Vanguard on a Brewmaster. That is not an item I've seen on a Brewmaster in forever.
Quite some time. Yeah, I agree with you. It's strange. Okay, I mean, Lifestealer has a nice physical damage input, but I mean, look at Benny. He really doesn't mind anything about that Vanguard. Already half HP on that Brewmaster, and we see a rotation from RoboZ. He might get a kill.
Yeah, Vanguard not really gonna keep you
They
alive.
do, like...
Lifestealer loves it when his opponents have more HP, because that means there's just more to eat. And a mid,
For sure.
James trying to get the tier 1
So,
tower.
yeah, I find it strange.
Should look to their middle tower.
RoboZ almost has his Blink Dagger as well, which is a really good timing.
Yeah, like 12 minutes in, dagger already. It's pretty fine. Quinteka already has his vessel up. Pamplona gonna get picked off here. Maybe.
Or maybe not. He was kind of stuck on the high ground. There's the heal bomb coming in though from the dire
Maybe
side.
not.
And Quinteka is just gonna T-pose out of there. this is just horrible. I
Yeah,
can't watch
yes.
this.
It's silly. Like the projectiles come out from her chest. It's strange. It's so strange.
He's
But yeah,
also
like,
died.
pick off on Tusk. It's nothing huge for South team.
Okay, jump in, toss back onto Quinteka. Actually, they made a mistake there. Quinteka should not have gone in. Hook shot though, nicely done from 5 to 5, but Quinteka, time lapse in time before James's Astral Step burst comes through. He's trying to chase him down. Blue split gets used. They're a little bit deep. RoboZ does get a great avalanche toss, and James will fall. Virgil has the dispose in a second. Queentekka's trying to get away. He's going to get stunned up in the process. And a homing missile will find him in the end, finish him off. It's actually really annoying because I can't really see if he's stunned or not. On Queentekka. RoboZ. See if he can kill off Monty. No, he will not. And that is a double kill for Hermit. That's a really good recovery for the Brewmaster.
There is little
Yeah, certainly. It was sort of a good play out from Balrogs' team. They went in, they got the Void Spirit, which was a nice trade. Like against, I mean, when you trade the support for a middle lane. But the thing is, the play was kind of overextended. South team with the Primal Split, they managed to run up and still get this Tiny, which is huge. Also Queentekka. So yeah, it wasn't so good on the Balrog side, but they forced a Primal Split. Benny was still farming on the bottom lane, and now he can join the game, or maybe they just go on middle lane again and start pressuring that tier 1 once again. So it wasn't so bad for Balrog's team, especially when you have a lifestealer free farm, I guess. So 8-5 on the score here. South team, they are trying to hold the game. Queentekka has one vessel charge, and they are roaming towards the middle lane, and they want to push.
Okay, there's a little bit of a jump coming in, but there's a really interesting build on the Gyrocopter right now. He has 4 points in Flat Cannon, 1 in Cooldown, 1 in Homing Missile, and the rest in stats. I see a lot more builds these days coming out where they just choose stats over certain spells. I mean, I know that they normally don't go Rocket Barrage, but not even at more points in Homing Missile.
Regeneration.
Yeah, I'm not a Gyrax specialist, but we're gonna trust on Rina or Hina skill build here, because I mean the stats can at least bring his HP pool up, and that's good against high magical damage. And speaking of which, bottom lane,
They're going in on towards
and they got the
James,
kill though.
but
It feels like James is gonna.
he's a little bit too elusive to really be controlled and taken down in one fell swoop. Also has a switchblade now done towards mid. Queentekka TP'd in. Homing Missile is going to chase him down. And he needs to quickly scurry back before he's going to get jumped, because Hermit does have a Primal Split available. He's very close to finishing up a Spirit Vessel on the Brewmaster as well. We'll try to get the split off. We will get it off in the end. There's the big kill bomb as Bona's in trouble. Benny's going to infest, but now Benny is the one in trouble himself, because the Brewmaster split is right on top of him, and Benny will die. They're losing a lot here on the side of the Balrogs. Queentekka is chasing in after Monty. He will be able to find him, or RoboZ kills James completely somewhere else on the map. But 555 will fall to Queentekka. Is still in the area looking for a continuation, but that's going to be the tier 1 tower towards mid, picked up by Hermit.
middle tower
And
has
a very big team fight for South team. The only downside is that RoboZ did get a solo kill onto James. But Rina is fat. Rina's actually done with the Ags because he can
Ooh,
split open the
Queentekka.
Dragonlance. Chiguchi?
Yeah, and they can they
Almost.
get the damage? No, they can't. But it's still a good play from South teams, certainly. I mean, the Primal Split was crucial to win this team fight. Hermit manages to get a good micro out of the Pandas. And what can we say more about this? I mean, Benny, the fact that Benny died on that play and he just has 1 point on Rage is quite bad for overextended plays. When you see that huge volume of team fight, certainly a lifestealer with 1 point on Rage, he can't really deal with the pressure. So yeah, man, like great plays from South team for sure.
Dire's bottom tower is in danger.
They're doing a really good job. Rina is top net worth and pretty farmed at the moment. Done with the Dragonlance, Aghanim Scepter already. Yeah, this Gyrocopter is getting kind of huge, and you did point out that the level 1 rage might be a little bit too problematic in these engagements. So probably dodging for now. Lifesteal is actually going for the Halberd as his second item after the armlet.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, getting close up on Gyro, it's something that you can do. considering you are a life stealer, so it's not a problem to get near your opponents. But the halberd on this gyro, man, he's already aiming the BKB, so might be a problem for a life stealer, especially if he gets that MKB afterwards as well.
Is in danger. The instructions are fortified.
They want to initiate, feels like. Balrogs.
Yeah, they're coming in from behind. James, can he get a catch? Robozy would be the perfect target. Hermit has another Bruce Split available as well. He's going for the Aghanim Scepter. Pamplona is completely stuck, and he's just going to keep them distracted for a second longer before he dies. Net worth-wise, they're still keeping up inside of Balrogs, even though it feels like South Team have a lot more control at the moment.
Yeah, as we've seen there, like Tusk, Pamplona just appearing on the map a little bit, and they engage. Oh,
that is a whiff right there. Green Tekka just scurries away, wasting the ult of Dawnbreaker, who has Holy Locket as well, so that's a lot of healing taken care of for the next 100 seconds.
yeah, it's a huge cooldown spell, and they need to retreat now, right now, unless they want to play with Hermit Primal Split, and he's coming in actually.
Yeah, this is pretty scary. Pamplona is very aggressive. Robozy misses the avalanche. James dodges it with the Astral Step, and now Robozy is in trouble himself. Hermit charging forward. Nice toss back from Robozy, but he will be cracked. And the Tiny will fall. That will also secure the tier 1 tower towards bottom. And right now, South Team are looking deadly. It's going to be the the BKB from Arjarath, very close to being done. Because of course he can just split open that Dragon Lance as he did for the Ags. And he'll have it in no time. This is looking pretty problematic. Even though Lifestealer is pretty good against a Gyrocopter, this Gyrocopter is getting fairly strong. And honestly, Pamplona is playing very recklessly on the Tusk.
Yeah, he needs to watch out. He doesn't have the dagger to maybe use a defensive snowball and try to dagger out when he is in trouble. So yeah, like those kills certainly are gonna put South Team back on the game, and they didn't even need to use the Primal Split. So it's, I mean, it's somewhat of a misplay coming out of Balrogs, and now South Team feels confident to use that smoke and use the Primal Split that wasn't used. So it's fine for them.
The plus on
for the
Balrog
time being,
side,
they don't see any targets.
the plus on the Balrog side is they have a Lifestealer, and Lifestealer is stupidly good this game. He's going for the Scotty as well, so he's just going to be absolutely incredibly powerful. And Gyrocopter can be very farmed, but he can still get absolutely cracked by a Lifestealer late game. Like, the entire lineup of South Team gets just 3-shot late game by Lifestealer, because they're all tanky, but he is the ultimate tank buster.
Yeah, for sure. I feel it comes like on how South Team is gonna handle that rage ability, and they need to kite Lifestealer when he doesn't have the rage and try to control and burst him out. Not an easy job to do, but it's something that can happen. And oh, Dawnbreaker, she's alive, trying to run up.
Pamplona will be
Nice
gone.
vision there. Pamplona again.
It fills me with nothingness.
Bottom lane was a little bit of harass from Green Tekka coming in onto Rina, but Rina does have the full BKB already finished up. Going for Chrysalis and Scott himself. So gonna bring out his own damage in the meantime. Monty is actually really farmed. He's going for that Axe Rush on the Dawnbreaker. So those fights are... That's kind of exactly what Balrogs wants to dodge. They don't want to take 5v5 fights, because that is where they lose.
Okay, especially due to the fact that they are losing some pickoffs over and over, and as you can see, as you already mentioned as well, Monty is level 11 against Pamplona's 8, so they need to watch out and make sure they win the next team fight. I mean, those pickoffs on Tusks that are happening like repeatedly, they are fine unless they lose the next team fight, because that XP is gonna hit up hard, so they need to watch out on that sense. And I mean, both teams are trying to stall the game and trying to build up those items that are certainly gonna affect the next big team fight.
BKBs are being built up on Balrogs. That's going to be pretty big, especially because Brewmaster almost has his Zags. Double Brew Split's very hard to deal with in the fight. You can't really deal with it for the most part. It's just going to be there and annoy you the entire time. Queen Tucker went for the Maelstrom after his Spirit Vessel. I'm not too sure. I guess they're just going to try and play this like a 3-core draft. And use the Weaver as just an extra core instead of more, you know, an off-lane role. But yeah, Maelstrom is kind of an interesting choice here. Normally you tend to see like Spirit Vessel BKB or Spirit Vessel Ags on Weaver off-lanes.
Yeah. I'm wondering if he's going to evolve that into Gleipnir. What do you think? It's... For this game, Mjolnir or Gleipnir? What do you think?
Well, if he's gonna farm, it'd be a right click or Gleipnir. I know Mjolnir, but I think in most
Mjolnir.
games,
Yeah.
Gleipnir is just better because of the fact that you can root it. If you can root a Marcy, it destroys the hero completely. Same with Dawnbreaker. If you can't use the Celestial Hammer, it's very good. Void Spirit as well. I think it's just superb to have an AoE root. But he's probably going to make it into a Mjolnir anyway, because it's more damage and it does zap.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Like, you have Brewmaster as well. I mean, when he get rooted, okay, he can use the Primal Split to
You can
avoid
root the
that.
Primal
I
Splits.
don't know if Hermit's going to build.
Except for the Earth Panda, you can't root that one, but you can root the Storm Panda and the Fire Panda, because those aren't magic mute.
You are actually right. Yes, you're right about that. It's sort of useful when you use it on the Primal Split ability, on the Pandas. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, certainly Mjolnir feels better this game. I have to agree with you, 100%. Pamplona, he's trying to build that dagger up.
Balrogs are currently 2k in the lead.
Yeah.
While they have just been farming simultaneously. Because the problem is, Rena is very fat on that gyrocopter, but he's the only one. Look at the disparity. James and Hermit are falling further and further behind. They have to give all their farm to Rena. That just makes it pretty much one raid boss. If you take down the raid boss, you can easily win the fight. And, well, not easily, because the double Brew Split's going to be absolutely horrendous to deal with. But Benny's done with the Scotty. He's actually very good at taking down this gyro at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. Like, he needs to close the gap. So Scotty here, aside from the HP regen thing that you cut, the HP regen, mid lane.
Oh, that's a big kill. James is dead.
Nice connection of controls.
If they take the tier 1 tower, they could possibly try and secure Roche. They probably need to kill Hermit, I would assume, before they can actually take Roche safely. Because you're gonna otherwise have to deal with double Brew Split towards the pit, lost the cooldown, and if you then also add in some flat cannon damage, it's gonna be horrid. They're actually gonna go for it though. Okay, let's see how fast they can take Roche down. They do have tag team plus the bugs, the minus armor. They're very far away on South team.
Yeah, that's quite bad for them. I don't think they can contest this Roshan. So there we go. First Roshan for Balrogs. Benny gonna carry that up. And Lifestealer is getting like... certainly something to watch out for. Especially when you have that gyro that we already mentioned. Like Rena, he does have the Daedalus, but he doesn't have a way to maybe go against that avoid, like the evasion damage, sorry, on the halberd on Benny. So I don't know, man. Lifestealer here, Benny, as you said, he's gonna do some work in middle lane. Talk about him. Monty
Getting caught out, but they almost take down the tier 2 tower bottom, so that is definitely a possible big plus here. Tier 2 top is also not standing anymore. Queen Tekka was there. Bottom lane though, Primal Split does get juiced. That's going to be the heal bomb on top with the 5x boost. And Virgil trying to run away, but he's just going to get tree tossed out of existence by RoboZ, who will pay the price for it. Clean tackle with the BKB popped. He's actually trying to bump out damage. Let's get the time lapse off. Lift up onto Benny, and Hermit's just keeping him out of the fight right now. That's the first brew split used. He still has a second.
And the fact that they get the RoboZ, it's awesome for South team. Just one primal split usage. The team fight went good for them. That's all we can say, especially against an Aegis. So yeah, Benny is still having difficulties aside from the fact that he's huge. Like he can't like overcome the primal split, and RoboZ, when he dies like that, he feels like the Balrogs team, they don't have the damage to kill everyone else. So we need to see a well coordinated team fight out from Balrogs, and RoboZ certainly can't take the damage from Gyro and Void Spirit like that.
If you hover over Benny's stats, it shows that he has 0% evasion, which makes no sense considering he has a halberd and he has 16% evasion talent. Why doesn't it show that he has evasion in the defense? Valve, fix your game, please. Because it shows that
for me, it shows that he has like 33%.
What the? Why doesn't it show for me? It shows for Hermit. Now it shows Hermit has 90% evasion. What? Benny is taking a lot of damage and will possibly lose that Aegis because he's being chased by the entire enemy team. He's looking for an infest target. RoboZ might just be that, but in comes the Life Sealer. RoboZ with the Avalanche keeps him at bay for a little bit longer, but no, Benny's dead, and the lift up onto RoboZ is going to be another connection. RoboZ going for the TP, but won't be able to disengage, and another kill secured. That is very painful for the Balrogs. Like, Benny is strong, but he can't 1v5. He actually, I think, is going to need a BKB this game against that brew split.
Yeah, the BKB probably gonna be necessary, but Benny has other thoughts. He's going to build a Cuirass in order to tank the damage out from Gyro, and I don't know, maybe try to reduce the armor for against the South team. They are tanky. In a sense, they are going to engage here. Oh, nice silence.
Available, and he does get it off. Queen Tech, if they're in trouble, they need to get back. Pamplona is going to be next to support for that. They tried to burst him down, but the problem is Monty's got himself Ags and the Holy Locket, so his healing is just immense in those engagements. They were lacking a bit of damage. Queen Tech is going to get taken out, and yes, he did go for the Mjolnir, as kind of expected. But that is a huge fight coming in for South Team. And now Queen Tech isn't up for a solid 70 seconds. Doesn't have the buyback available either. And that's probably going to be a set of racks.
Yeah, they don't have the glyph anymore. The damage is out there. They just need to watch out due to the fact that Hermit doesn't have any more primal split charges. So they are going to take the hexes and probably try to retreat. But you see a Clockwork about to respawn, and RoboZ, he wants some blood. So they are not going to leave safely.
It's just absolutely abysmally destroyed. Hermit can't get away, but yeah, there's that 90% evasion coming into play. Jeez, everything got missed in a couple of seconds in a row. But this is what you get when you have a couple of seconds of the Life Sealer being able to right-click someone. And he's going MKB next because the Gyrocopter, he knows he's going to try and get himself a butterfly soon enough. So he's already one step ahead of the Gyro.
And Gyrocopter dying there is huge. The net worth he gave out from that death was 1k gold for Benny, which probably gonna accelerate, right, the Cuirass that he was trying to build. But Benny has other thoughts now. He wants a MKB. He wants to try to burst out someone fast with his physical input damage. So yeah, there we go, man. But they can't like mirror the fact that they lost hexes right now. Gyro is about to respawn. South team still has the glyph to use, so you need to watch out here. And yeah, I mean, they are gonna deal with the fact that they don't have mid anymore. and they want a smoke on James. But if James is like quick on the wits here, he's probably not gonna
He doesn't have a
die.
DP, and
Ooh,
that's a
they
big
found
problem.
him.
Does have a shard, so he is pretty fast to try and just engage, but doesn't have an astral step left anymore. And yeah, his TP, that was a very unfortunate situation that he got interrupted while he tried to TP in that lane. Queen Tekka in the meantime is in the enemy's jungle, and he's just trying to scurry all the way through. He's going to be chased by a homing missile. Does have BKB in case it's needed, but should be just fine in the sprint away. Won't really be killed off in the process. Stunned up. But yeah, also one of the big problems is, like, Hermit's got that axe. He's almost done with the full refresh orb, but they kind of have that brief window where they stun him and they need to burst him. But when he's playing in the Storm Brawler Panda, he has 30% evasion passively. And if he then also uses the brew up on himself, the Cinder Brew, then he all of a sudden has 90% evasion, and then Lifestealer can't kill him. That's why MKB is what he's building. But okay, yeah, Gyrocopter decides he's going for Scotty himself because, well, Butterfly is not going to work once the Lifestealer has the MKB built up. So it's actually a very good choice to just swap over to Scotty. It's also a very good tool against the Lifestealer because he's got a ton of healing to work with.
Yeah, you gotta adapt, right? When you see the other team building something that's gonna screw up your item build, so you need to adapt. That's a good movement here from Rina. And they are trying to zone out the next Roshan. They found Clockwork. Nice engage here from James. It's gonna be a clean pick off, it seems. It lacks the damage though.
He flies away. Crimson Guard coming in clutch. And Queen Tekka making sure the homing missile gets taken down as well. Yeah, that is pretty well done. Coming in from the clock, disengaging. Also, Virgil has a Basher as his first item on the Marcy. That's a
And
very
it was
weird.
a clutch basher because when but when RoboZ tried to TP back on the last engage where Benny died with Aegis, the basher actually how do you say it?
Interrupted.
It was used against RoboZ, yeah, and it interrupted the TP, so it kind of paid off already, and the fight's
go in,
gonna.
and that is Hermit taking a lot of damage. But that healing. Does he get taken down? Yes, he does in the end. Monty comes flying through. He's going to get chased down. Queen Tekka is looking in for some extra burst damage. Silence comes out. Monty is going to be taken down. And Benny is going to get dragged to the side. He has another rage in a couple of seconds. And he can try and pop it. But he's getting stunned up by Virgil in the process. Benny, however, yeah, look at his damage from the Lifestealer. He's just absolutely tearing them apart. Welcome to late game Lifestealer gaming. The moment where he is too strong to handle. And that is right now. And also,
So scary,
Queen Tekka.
and he doesn't even have the open wounds. What about him?
The Queen Tekka is just doing tons of work this game. He's playing pretty much as the second safe laner in case Benny would die. In that fight, he did almost this, well, slightly less damage than Benny, but still a ton of damage. RoboZ, he's pretty much been relegated to, you know, the extra off-lane support that slightly helps out with his stuns. Benny gets the silence from Queen Tekka onto James. He doesn't have BKB or Yules. He has nothing. He gets silenced by the Orchid, and he just dies. Benny gets the kill. Needs the creeps to spawn though, so that he can
Without
get a little bit
buyback.
of life still going. But that is huge, because that is going to look like it's the top set of racks. Hermit going in for the blue split number 1. And then he's actually going to heal up onto the brew split. Thank you very much for giving me the extra HP. And we'll try and just run away, which should be successful, because he can even infest into Pamplona if need be.
Yeah, for sure. And it's Roche time, right? Without the Void Spirit's buyback, it's gonna be certainly a problem for South Team. They already used this Primal Split charge, trying to contest the Hexes, but certainly Hermit can't do the job alone. And yeah, the Roche is just destroyed in a matter of seconds. It's gonna go the Aegis for Benny. And what I was trying to say on the last team fight was the fact that Benny, like, he healed himself almost fully without the fact that he doesn't have the open wounds. He didn't have the open wounds. Now that he has, it's quite scary scenario for South Team. Truman, this might be The start of the end, I would say.
Yeah, this is looking like it's absolutely disastrous. Queen Tech has got the full Bloodthorn finished up now as well. Extra gem in its attack. Needs to buy the shard. I think the shard is still OP on the Weaver. And they get scanned in the trees. They know that they're in the trees nearby. That hook shot was nowhere nearby. Well, it looks like it went right through him, regardless. They're actually going to go in onto 5-5. Nice jump from Virgil. The sun comes out. Clockwork's dead. Benny does pop his rage because the homing missile would otherwise stun him in the process. The heal comes out. Rena, however, healing doesn't matter because there's a Scotty on Benny and Rena's dead. This gyro cannot do anything when the life sealer is enraged next to him. And they just need to disengage, but Monty, there's no chance that you can disengage because they're going to chase you into oblivion. On the side, hookshot onto James. He has used all of his spells, everything's on cooldown, and they're going to get cracked on the side of South Team. And with that, I think they can just walk up the high ground and finish the game.
Yeah. Felt like it was the start of the end, as I said. And they are just going in, like Benny just cutting the creep wave here, waiting for his creep wave to come in order to hit the tower 2. And RoboZ got to the point where he is also strong enough to build like lots of damage to his team. And on the last team fight, they killed Void again. It didn't feel like Void did like good damage on the team fight, and he doesn't have also his buyback available. Hermit as well, burning that primal split, trying to defend top hexes was not good, and they are just destroying everything up. I don't think Soft Team can hold this, but let's see, man.
Yeah, they'll kill the Clockwork at least, but 5-5, all he's doing is playing distraction while they get megas secured on the side of the Balrogs. They did lose the clock, which is actually a dieback, so they're going to back off instead of risking everything in a possible unfortunate fight. But yeah, they're up against megas. They do have a lineup that's okay against megas, but still this is looking like South Team will be losing game number 1 fairly convincingly.
Yeah, I mean, Gyro can certainly hold the Mega Creeps alongside with their teammates. His teammates, I mean. But the thing is, they are gonna keep up the pressure. Pickoffs like that on Virgil. He still has buyback available, so he can buy back. But the thing is, Balrogs are going to farm way more than South Team. And they want to go for Arena, but that's a thank you one, Truman.
Yeah, Queen Tekka is trying to bully Rena back to at least force out Satanic. I think he just tried to force out the BKB, but of course Satanic also has a basic dispel, so against the Bloodthorn he didn't need to pop the BKB. But yeah, I think, you know, it's one of those things. One of the first things that Balrogs did this season was kick Queen Tekka, and honestly, they haven't looked good at all this season except for when they are playing with Queen Tekka. Like that, every single time he plays with them, he's looking really good. I know that there's a lot of stuff in the background as well that's going on, and you know, people might get pissed at each other, but Queen Tekka is a really freaking good player.
Yeah, you gotta you have to say that for sure. Like Queen Tekka, a strong Weaver, just a second on net worth list here. And what I'm trying to say is maybe the fact that sometimes you have more synergy with some players, and Queen Tekka showing that up definitely deserves the mention that you did. So yeah, props to him. Almost carrying the game with Benny here, and let's see how it goes. They are waiting for Roshan, it seems, and they are just controlling the map. They don't let the South Team go out.
Benny still has the Aegis for 15 seconds, so, you know, I guess third Roche.
Yeah, I'd say so, because they are playing it quite safely, right, with that Aegis. So that's why I thought they didn't have the Aegis up. So, yeah, so Aegis just expired now. Benny.
They are gonna outfarm them the entire time.
They're afraid of Gyro.
I wouldn't say necessarily afraid. I'd be a bit more afraid of, I think they're the most afraid of Hermit, because if there's a moment where the Life Stealer, yeah, he bought a BKB specifically, I think that's one of the best items you can get this game on the Life Stealer. Because if he gets lifted up in the sky during the fight, like, you're gonna lack the Life Stealer, and then you can lose the fight. If that happens, that 28k net worth on Benny is just gonna be taken care of completely. And they kill off the rest of the team pretty easily. However, they're going to get a quick jump in. And in the middle of the sky, Rena has just been evaporated. He was not even down yet from the toss. And the triple buyback on the side of South team.
Not only Rena, like Hermit as well.
Yeah, all of them. They're just getting absolute crack. Benny pops the BKB, turn around. Another kill coming through. Monty, can he get away? No, the bashes are coming in. The hookshot from 5 for 5, but Rena does have a BKB going. The hookshot didn't connect, but the bash hit from Benny is going ham, and that should be a rampage. Actually gets stolen by Queen Taka. This one on Virgil will be given to Benny, and that's the GG call for South Team. They do get a rampage, and they do win game number 1.
Yeah, very impressive build up on that Life Stealer. They bought enough time for Benny and like shoved out Hermit out of the lane quite early, I'd say. Maybe due to the fact that Hermit needs to answer with his Primal Split. So yeah, man, like Benny with the itemization, like the items that he built went perfectly for him. And the pick as well, like the 4th pick, Lifestealer up onto Gyrocopter. It was a decisive pick for Balrogs team, and it was great overall. Like the way that they got the pickoffs, how they get the Roche, and also like perform the macro objectives of this game. It was superb. So props to them, Balrogs 1-0 against South team.
Yeah, they played really well. South team, they started off very well. They lost the laning stage, but then afterwards they had some very good rotations with Monty, Virgil, and James. Hermit was pretty annoying to deal with in those team fights as well, but the big difference was you had 3 right-clicking cores versus 2, the heavy damage cores, because of course Hermit was more of a playmaking kind of hero on the Brewmaster this game, and that's where the problems did come through. It's, you know, they just had a severe amount of damage, and Lifestealer was by far the strongest core of this game. The Gyrocopter really could not deal with the Lifestealer whatsoever. But that is game number 1. There is still more to be witnessed. We'll be going towards a short break for game number 2. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.